So now let's look at working non-destructively to use many different colored lines and hide or show the areas that we want the line to be a certain color and the areas that we want the line to be a different color. So this is pretty basic layer masks. To make a layer mask, you're going to click on this button, which looks like a rectangle with a circle inside it. Now we are going to paint with the brush tool, and you want the default colors, which are black and white. To get the default colors, you can just press D on the keyboard, the letter, and you will get your default colors. So to switch those colors around, you can press X on the keyboard shortcut key, or just press that little thing. Black is going to hide and white is going to show. So I want to hide certain areas of the yellow, and what I'm seeing is that, oh my gosh, now it's turning green. What's going on? So what's happening is, this is my yellow layer, and underneath it is a green layer with the line work in green. And then we have the line work in like a mauve, and then a black. So be aware of what is on top and what is on bottom, and what you're seeing through and what you're hiding and what you're showing. The cool thing about using a layer mask is that now we have this template here to show us where that's hidden on that layer, and we can duplicate that. So maybe I only want the yellow to show up in the stars that are there. So I can show it in those areas and hide it everywhere else. So I'm just pressing X to hide or show, depending on what I want to do, and that keeps it simple. I don't have to go up here and do that and switch tools and blah, blah, blah. So that shortcuts make it fast. You got one hand on the keyboard and one hand on your mouse or your Wacom tablet, and that way you can just work really fast. Now, I have everything like I want it. So now that I have this, I know that I want the yellow to show up only in those areas. I'm going to give this just a tint, just so we can kind of see this. Okay, fill, option, delete, right? So instead of working on white, I'm working on this color. Now I have the green, so let's work with this one instead because you can see it better. So this is like a mauve color, and I know that I want, right now the yellow is on top of the mauve. But it would be better if the mauve was not there where I have the yellow. For instance, if those were hidden, that would be better, because then I could move this layer wherever I wanted and it wouldn't matter the order. Also, sometimes this mauve might, it might kind of interfere a little bit. If we zoom in, we can kind of see this weirdness over here. So if this was just gone, so let's get layer mask. I'm going to paint with my paintbrush, and we're going to use black to hide. And now this looks a little bit better, right? So comparing this with This has this weird dark outline, which is because the mauve is behind it, so we're going to hide that. So it's going to take a while for me to figure out, oh man, where are all the yellows overlapping with the mauves, and then I have to go and like find them and hide them and blah blah blah. So another quick way, we can just use the mask that's here and take that and put it into other things. So just like we used Command or Control on a PC, click to select everything that's on all the pixels that are on a layer, we can do the same thing and select all the pixels that are in a mask. So what did I just do? I pressed Command and I clicked in the mask, and now let's go in here, and what happens if I fill with black? So I'm just going to do an experiment, filling with black. So what happened was, it's filled everywhere that the, so this is opposite, right? Where there's black here, there's white there. Where there's white here, there's black here. So where it's showing here, the yellow, it's hiding in the mauve. So that's a handy little thing, and you can take it and implement it as you go. Now it doesn't matter what order things are in. Let's try this with the green. So I want the mauve to be hidden. Let's put the green on the top and hide that one. And let's put a mask on it. And I want the teapot to be green. So I'm just hiding some stuff. And I want it's a weird color. Okay. Okay. Let's try. Alright, that's all. Alright. You can see it a little better. So, I want the teapot to be green, but I don't want the mauve to be the teapot color. So if I Command click, it's actually selecting everywhere that is white. And I go in here, and now let's get my default colors and paste. So it's the same thing, right? This is where it's the opposite. So you can kind of copy masks and put them in. I could also right-click on the mask and say disable. If I want to look at it not there, I could delete it. I could put, if I actually want to work destructively, I could take all this stuff and actually apply it so that it's erasing the pixels. So that's some stuff about that. This might get a little confusing if you're like selecting and like filling and all this stuff. So if it gets confusing, just, you know, if you want to start again and just fill it with white and start all over again, let's go in this green. And we're going to fill with the background color, which is white, in here. So I'm going to press Command or Control, Delete, and it's going to fill with with white in there, and then you can kind of start all over again. And then say, you know, you want to give this a layer mask, and you want to hide. You need the brush tool. The nice thing is that when using the brush tool, you don't have to use this hardness 100 like a basic brush. You can use textured brushes, which is kind of nice because then it gives you a little bit more room to blend two colors together. Say you have, let's make this, instead of black, let's make it like a purplish. And let's make this one, instead of green, let's make it reddish. That. Okay. So now, this is purpley. Let's set this to normal instead of multiply. So what's cool is because of how I'm hiding or showing, you can get it to kind of blend in a certain way, which is kind of sometimes really pretty. And then you can, you know, get rid of things there. It's a little not the cleanest layers, but anyway, this also works really well if you have duotone layers because you're hiding or showing those, and since you actually might have the white of the paper on the duotone. Let's try one thing. So you can always hide and show your layers just to see what's happening on just the purple here. So I'm going to take the selection tool and just select just the teapot. And now I want everything but the teapot to be, I only want the teapot showing. So if I fill with black, it's going to hide, right? So let's inverse the selection. Select, inverse. Now everything except for the teapot is selected. I go in here, I'm going to fill everything except for the teapot, and now the only thing that's showing is the teapot. This is a very fast way to, like, just make only one thing one color. And now I want everything, right? Let's try to start from scratch. This shows everything, and what we're going to do is I'm going to command click. So when I command click, it actually selects the black and not the white. If I wanted to instead, so fill with black, so option delete for foreground fill. So it's actually, at this point, it's doing the opposite, right? Say I don't want it to do the opposite. I want it to be exactly like that. So then we need to command click. We get this. Now let's inverse that. Select inverse. And now I'm just going to delete the mask. And now let's make a new, so inverse, there we go. And now let's make a new mask. So that's how you would duplicate a mask. Because when you control click, it's actually not selecting what's showing, it's selecting what's hidden. And then when I go in and actually fill that, it might do funky stuff. So you can inverse selections that you make from your command clicks here. So you can